welcome to the PowerUp podcast, episode 1. Today we're going to be talking about Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and my guests today are T.
Hello.
Amanda, otherwise known as Anchor.
Hello.
And Lee, aka Otter.
Hey, everybody.
We are actually, Lee and Amanda are more like T's liaisons, I think I like to call them. T himself is a really great Brawl player. He's very modest, so you're going to have to humor him a little bit. But let's go ahead and get started. Now, I know that you like to play Brawl, and you used to play Melee.
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Do you have a preference in either game?
Well, good question. Melee is good. I mean, you know, it's always nice to know what the game is before you enter into a new series. Definitely, as far as pacing goes, Melee was faster. As far as character selection, Brawl definitely has that covered as well as graphics. But, you know, as a gamer, you know, to each their own. You know, some people like one series better than others. It's common nature. So, you know, just go with whatever suits you.
Why didn't you stick with Melee? Did you think Brawl was the better game, or was that your just personal preference? You just thought, new game, pick it up, and then you just ended up liking it more?
When it comes to Brawl, you know, as soon as a new one comes out, I'm immediately over it. You know, I'm jumping right on it. It's a fun series. You know, I've liked it since the 64 when I first got to play it.
Right.
And then when I heard that Melee was coming out, I had to adjust to it because it was ridiculously faster than the slow motion original. You know, and I like that. And then I kept checking websites on Brawl, and you know, Smash Brothers website. I liked what I saw, and you know, I immediately thought, you know, I'm buying it. So, you know, I'm a smasher. I just love it, man.
Nice. Were you excited at all for like characters like Snake and Sonic? I mean, was that maybe something that you were really kind of all about at first before we actually got to play Sonic?
Oh man, dude! Any and every newcomer that showed up, I was definitely excited for. You know, and it was unfortunate because of the delays that just kept happening, and I had to check out the spoilers, and It sucked. But, you know, and especially since I had to see actual game footage, how the story played out. But, you know, I liked it. You know, any chance to get a newcomer, you know, see what they're capable of, see what their metagame is about, you know, movesets. It was fun for me. So, you know, I welcome the challenge.
Nice. Now, do you miss any of the tricks and the glitches in Melee that would maybe make you want to pick up? Because we were talking earlier, and T didn't know much about Brawl Plus, the soft-modded version of Brawl, where the hackers have gone in and taken things out like tripping and have added in wave dashing. And Otter, you were talking about they put in more, stun to get combos off.
Right, yeah. I just kind of feel like people who like Melee so much should just play it and see then Brawl is like a fun alternative. Like, why have two versions of Melee?
Right, yeah.
That's how I feel personally.
Yeah. T, do you think that like tournaments, Brawl tournaments or Smash tournaments should have both games? I mean, do you think Melee still has a popular or a big enough community?
Well, Melee is definitely going to have a very nice community, especially with big names like Gimpy Fish, Sephiroth Ken, Ice Eye, you know, etc. You know, Rock the Reaper, as well as Dinah Dash. It's all about what suits you, and the thing is, can you still retain those skills? I mean, do you still play it, you know, after so many years have passed? Do you still play the game, and do you still have the reflexes? Do you still know how to wave dash and L cancel, as well as chain grab? Do you know how to react to when someone does that to you?
Right.
Do you know what your opponent is thinking, and does the opponent know what you're thinking?
Right, the mind game.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Let's see here. How many tournaments have you been to for Brawl or Melee?
Let's see. So far, I've been to two. I've been to two tournaments. I definitely like the competition. You know, awesome. I don't really care about winning tournaments. You know, for me, it's all about, you know, having fun. You know, if you happen to put a little bit of money on the line, just to meet, a couple of cool people. I mean, I'm all for it. But, once, we, smash it up, I'm going to try to come at you, whether it's with low tier, mid tiers, or high tiers if need be.
Right, so you'll pick lower tiers against higher tiers just for the fun of it, just to see if you can outthink and outplay your opponent, right?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, there are characters that get, oh my goodness, they get so underestimated. Like Yoshi, for example. Some people think, he's just a goofy dinosaur and he can just dare and, basically that's all he's got. No, I've met some evil Yoshis. Some of them that are very good with grabbing you, running grabs. Some of them that can hold you up in a shell. There's so many ways of handling one character. I mean, the most dangerous character that you can face is one that you're not familiar with.
Just the fact that he has a super armor double jump changes your edge guarding game totally. Now you have to fight him.
Exactly. Definitely.
Speaking of characters, what's your favorite? What's your go-to character if it's like the grand finals at a tournament? You're like, you know what, I'm going to win this. Who would be your go-to guy or girl?
Go-to would have to be Ness.
Okay.
Had to be. He is just, I don't know. It's something about a kid that wears his hat. He uses yo-yos and a bat, and he's got meteor attacks. His back air is very good for having to knock you out. He's also got a headbutt. His back throws, definitely ridiculous.
It'll get you. But people learn to fear the Ness's back throw when they're
definitely.
up in the hundreds.
Definitely. Did you always play Ness, or did you pick him up later in your Brawl career, or did you play him in Melee at all?
Actually, it was a fluke that I stumbled across Ness. I had a broken controller stick, and then I was doing what was it? I was doing the events. That was it. I was doing the events, and my controller's messed up. And it just kept scrolling down until I went to Ness. During the character select, you could play it as anybody. And I started checking him out, with a busted controller, and I was like, okay, he's pretty cool. So
the menu just kind of guided you to Ness.
Yeah.
For some weird reason, it was like fate.
Yeah.
Play Ness.
Divine intervention.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Miyamoto's talking to you.
Right. Or it could just be, since some GameCube controllers like to break. That's always something you got to look out for.
Definitely.
You got to pull out and push back in with the GameCube controller sometimes, but it's just how you have to do it.
Oh, yes.
Let's see here. Now at the last, we just recently had a tournament here locally called the Them versus Us tournament in Westchester, Ohio. It was run by a guy named Josh Queen, and in the back we had two tournaments running. There was a singles and a teams. I'd like to ask you, T, what do you prefer? Do you prefer the doubles matchups, or do you think that singles is more your game?
Actually, I am still deciding that myself because, don't get me wrong, singles is good, being able to test your individual skills versus your opponent. But sometimes it's good to have a strategy. It's nice to have, a teammate that has your back, form new techniques. You can tell your partner, I need this. I need to borrow a life. You don't get that chance when you're doing singles.
Right.
But, singles is very nice as well. Not having to restrain yourself. You don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, I accidentally hit you, and it's critical. That we need this life, we need this game. This is all you. This is your show. You have to fight it out your way.
Right. And speaking of that tournament, T's partner was actually Anchor.
Hello.
And how was it playing in that tournament? I think you guys came in third, right?
Yeah, we came in third out of 8 teams. A lot of people, they're just sometimes they'll say, 8 teams, that was an easy third place. But it's kind of like you're fighting against 14 other people.
Right.
Because you don't have to worry about just, one team melded together. You have to worry about both those people. It was my first tournament that I've competed in. I've been to more than just one tournament, but I've always been too shy to actually get in there and play.
Right.
but I kind of just treated it as I was going to go play games with friends, and I didn't really get stressed out about any of it, so I think that's why I did so well for my first tournament. Plus my partner, he's really experienced when it comes to Brawl. So, and we practice, and we never use our main team when it comes to casuals, because they're going to be like, oh, we need to watch out for this and this and this. So when we do casuals before a match, we just kind of pick other characters, and I don't know, it was a really, really fun experience, and I got to meet a lot of fun people, so, and you were one of them, actually.
Exactly,
so.
Yeah. And by the way, Anchor has been a really great motivator for getting this podcast started and getting everything going up. Eventually, we're going to be hosting the first PowerUp tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be hopefully in a matter of months once I get my big old garage cleaned out. And we will be running probably Brawl, Street Fighter 4, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Of course, that's subject to change, but those are pretty much, the popular games they're going to bring in the people.
Right.
Yeah, that Marvel is off-life support.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. For anybody who doesn't
10
know,
years,
if you've been living under the proverbial rock, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is getting a new start, new life with its downloadable content on PSN and Xbox Live. And for everyone who's a purist, well, you can still play the game. It's the Dreamcast port. It's got widescreen support, but you can play it with black bars if you want. So just a little bit about Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But we'll get off that tangent. We're not talking about Marvel today. Let's see here. So you've only been to a couple tournaments. Are you looking forward to going to more?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe my tournament.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Yeah, man.
This is where you shake your head yes,
yes.
or prompting you from the side.
Yes. Right. Oh, yeah, man. Dude, I'm all for the tournaments, man. Most definitely. I try to, cancel out any and everything, depending on, how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
And, I show up and, yeah, I'm down for it.
That's awesome. Now, you were mentioning earlier some of the, more well-known players.
Yeah.
I forget some of their names. But are there any videos of those players or any, top-level NES players you like to watch on YouTube or anything like that?
Well, I haven't checked out, any specific characters. I only know, that Sephiroth Ken was supposed to be a 5-time champion, who was also on Survivor last season.
Oh, yeah, I saw that article on Smashboards or All This Brawl or something. I think they had, a really goofy picture of him smiling. I don't think he was holding up a fish. Maybe they photoshopped it out.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I don't know how well, maybe he brought his GameCube controller with him, plugged it into the sand or something. It's I must get my fix.
Yeah, man, dude. Let me see. I don't know. I don't know much. Well, I don't know too many players, Again, I'm all about, casual play, for the most part before it even got truly popular, as a fighting game. I would just keep playing it by myself. I didn't know too many smashers in my area. So I had to fight a lot of CPUs, unfortunately. And after playing them so many times, you already predict what they're doing before they even do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember the first night that he ever came to spend the night with Otter and I, and he brought everything, every game that he had, his systems, and he was just like, you guys want to play some Melee? And we're like, Melee? What's Melee? And he showed us the cover. I went, oh, yeah. I said, my little brother has that game. I said, I played maybe once or twice. And he's like, well, do you guys want to play? And we're like, well, what is it? And he's like, it's kind of like a fighting game, but it's different. And he we're kind of like Street Fighter people, hardcore, because we played Smash 64, but it never really evolved into really big tournament style.
Right.
So when he popped it into the GameCube, and we were just we were blown away, because we were like, what? You have all these characters, and one character like Zelda. You have 2 characters with Zelda, and man, we got our butts kicked so many times by Teen, but we just kept fighting, and we were just, I don't know, it was a lot of fun. So he's the one who kind of well, he is the one who turned us on to Melee, and so he'd come over every weekend, and we'd just play and play and play. So But then when Brawl came out, you know, we all hung out for Brawl. So, I mean, and I never really noticed. I guess I'm just too simple-minded to notice, like, bigger differences between Brawl and Melee, because Melee, personally, I think it's just as fast as Brawl because it's continuous. You have to keep on your feet. You can't really stop if somebody wants to play the rushdown game, you know. But tripping, I just kind of, you know, treat it as a glitch. Like, it happens randomly. You just gotta, you know, roll and time it right, and you'll be okay, you know.
Just gotta roll with the trip, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, oh, I'm doing a somersault. I'm gonna get you. So. But yeah, so thank you, T, for showing us Melee.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
So, T, would you be, like, you're sort of like the underground sort of casual guy with Brawl. Would you be interested in, like, really, I don't know, going to, like, bigger tournaments, if there were bigger tournaments, because we all know the Midwest sucks for things like that, which I'm going to change, by the way.
He will.
But yeah, I mean, would you want to be one of those guys like Sephiroth Kin and anyone else who like really like had that kind of prestige, you know?
Oh man, I don't know if I could do that, man, because that would be, oh my goodness, I keep hearing so many things that happens if you know, if you make a big name, you know, everybody loves you. You lose one match, that's when it all comes. You get shunned, you get ostracized.
Right.
But, I mean, maybe I'm over-exaggerating it, but basically, you know, whenever you get famous, no matter, you know, what the respect, you know, they expect you to be the best. They're going to want you to win at everything, no matter what the handicap.
Right.
I don't know, T. If you were to become one of those big names in the Brawl community or just Smash community, I think you'd be kind of like an idol for the underdogs, you know, because you're not out there on YouTube going, I'm the best Smash player, my Meta Knight owns, you know, I'll pwn you, lol. You know?
Raffle.
Raffle.
GTFO, right.
Yeah. And,
OMG.
yeah. So, I know you just...
The podcast presented in acronyms.
Yeah. But, I don't know, what really will probably turn people on to you personally is that you're humble and that you don't necessarily hold yourself above other people. When you play with somebody, you know, you don't really sandbag. You know, you're just, you give them the real you, like your real skill, and you say, this is what you have to get better against, but you're not mean about it. You're not like, get out of my face, you know, you suck.
Yeah.
You know, you're not too cocky, but you're confident, you know. So I think even if you did lose, if you became one of those big names, I don't think people would hate you for it or shun you just because of your attitude and the way you look at the game. So, and you're not really much of a crybaby when it comes between the differences of Melee and Brawl. You're like, well, you know, this is the game I'm going to play and I'm just going to stick with it. If I want to play Melee, I'll play Melee. Yeah. So, oh, and on a side note, are we going to bring Melee to that tournament? To your tournament, your PowerUp maybe?
You know, I think we can, definitely, if it feels like the player base is out there to get people to show up. I don't see why not.
Yeah,
so if you are up there, say something.
Definitely.
Something.
So that way, everyone can be happy.
Yeah, if you guys really want Melee, then go to powerupyourworld.blogspot.com. That's where this podcast will be posted and where updates for the PowerUp tournament will be found. So if you really, really want Melee, and there are more than like 5 people listening to this, hopefully, just go to the bottom of the PowerUp page, and you can email me at my Gmail address, and you will definitely, if I get like, I don't know, 500 people coming in and saying, we want Melee, then I think, you know, I would probably host it. No problem.
Give them your Gmail account, just in case some people can't read very well.
For all of you illiterate listeners.
Just to cover our bases.
How you found the website, who knows?
Just in case. But you can type in Nathan Shields, that's SHIELDS, .powerup@gmail.com.
Because I've come to learn that some men aren't the best lookers. They'll kind of glance and be like, I can't find it. Right, Otter?
Oh, one time.
But yeah, I think we can do Melee. I mean, I don't see why not. Would you participate in both tournaments? Or
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
Oh, and tell them the catch of this tournament that you'll be hosting.
Catch? Oh, yeah. Well, there will be prizes, so there's no like crazy catch. But a lot of any profit that will be made from it will be going towards a Street Fighter 4 cabinet for our local arcade, Pocket Change, in the Dayton Mall. This isn't set in stone yet. I still need to kind of converse with the Pocket Change owner and make sure that he would agree to keep the system going, keep it updated over the internet, and keep everything in good working order. But I mean, they wouldn't have to do much of anything besides sponsor, maybe donate some prize money or something like that. But yeah, the PowerUp tournament is definitely about getting the local community right around here to get hyped up, basically, to get things expanded for all fighting games. So, not just Brawl, not just Melee, Street Fighter 4, obviously, if we're going to get the cabinet. Too bad, what would you think of, like, a Brawl cabinet?
Oh, man, dude, I'll be all over it.
Right,
I
right.
will be.
Like a bring your own controller, it's got, like, the ports in the front, you just plug right in.
That'd be
like,
sweet.
Super custom cabinet, but that would be awesome.
Yeah.
You could have, like, a little switch between Melee and Brawl.
Man, that would be awesome. Man.
So for all you arcade owners out there, there's a really great idea for you right there. I don't know exactly how you will coin up that, but maybe you could just like charge to stand in line or something. Who knows?
That's right.
Yeah. Let's see here. Now, if you were to come for the Melee tournament, how do you think you would do against people who have been practicing? Kept at it.
Ah, man, dude. I would probably have to, like, I don't know, maybe spend some time with Lee and Amanda. Hopefully, relearn some of the speed as well as what to expect from Melee fighters. Because I know the wave dashing and the weight. There was also differences in weight between, especially with Fox and Falco, because they fell like a ton of bricks. I thought that Bowser, if anything, was going to fall fast, but that was not the case at all. Have to learn about the chain grab, what to do against that, stuff like that, and try to rework the wave dashing into my style.
It's kind of cool, actually. I mean, Brawl and Melee are really so different, barring the weird Brawl Plus people, that they really can have separate but equal communities. Not to, like, mock 60s civil rights movements, or, I'm stealing that line, but it's kind of true. I mean, they are different enough to where, it's not just, Brawl's not just an update to Melee,
Exactly.
It's got its own feel, it's got its own pacing, and Melee, they can coexist for all of the detractors out there. You don't need to hate each other.
Exactly.
I mean, if you want to play Melee, fine. Nobody's saying you can't. If you want to play Brawl, if you want to play both.
Yeah.
But
just like Street Fighter 2, 3, and 4.
Right,
Totally
yeah.
different thing.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing, like what's going on with Third Strike, if it's going to stay around, or...
Oh, it will. I have
or
no
some
doubt.
eclipse it, yeah. Very cool.
It's, some people, there are a lot of people in this world, and there's not going to be one single game that's going to be universally just loved by everybody.
Right.
But I don't know, for some reason, it's like everyone wants to try to hate on one game for a reason. I mean, I like Street Fighter 4. It's just like I like Third Strike. Some people will say that they love, Street Fighter 4 because, the diversity of characters, being able to cross up, and it's the first 3D Street Fighter, and it is very beautiful. I love it. and then you have, people will say, no, I love Third Strike better because you can parry as opposed to focusing attack on 4. You can take maybe one hit, but if you take 2, you're done. Unless you decide to focus attack early and, pray that you hit them, or, hope that maybe an Ultra isn't coming at you, or, something awful like that, and it'll cost you, whether it costs you the match or a championship or prize money or whatever.
So, it sounds like you know a good deal about Street Fighter 4. Are you just, like, general gamer? I think, Anchor told me that you were just up all night playing Skate or something like that.
Yeah.
knocked out.
Castle Crashers! We love Castle Crashers.
It is, well, in the past when I was a kid, I used to play, a lot of games. This day and age, I like to do all right. I like to play. I still like to, broaden my horizons. Normally I wouldn't, get into, the sports games, like skate, for example. No offense, Otter. But, I like it. You got to give it a shot before you can start immediately knocking it.
Right.
Same thing went with Anchor. What was the DS game that's out right now that you have?
Oh, Rhythm Heaven.
Rhythm Heaven.
I love Rhythm Heaven.
Man, Rhythm Heaven. I saw Beyonce Knowles doing that, and I was like,
She looked cute doing it too.
why was she just like singing it? I mean, was it like voice activated? But then started playing it, and it's pretty catchy, and I can understand why she did that. So, yeah.
Yeah, Glee Club. That'll get you.
Uh-huh.
Pick it up, by the way. It's an amazing game.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce's
Rhythm
not
Heaven
kidding.
for the DS.
Yep.
Go to your local GameStop or more local video game provider.
Yes.
So you have been more casual about it. Maybe would you ever be interested, or have you ever been interested in getting on like forums and community-based social websites where you would actually become like a contributor to, for example, Ness's character page? Would you ever be interested in anything like that?
Well, I wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind doing it. But here's the thing, though. If I were to do something like that, people would check out the site and they'd be like, "Who are you?"
Right.
As opposed to somebody who is a pro Ness player, and if he decides, to start making a strat guide online, they'd be like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I mean, simply, do the names itself. And, maybe I think you have more of an effect, depending on how strong of a player you are. That's when people will start taking you a little more seriously. It's all, rep is definitely important. So.
How do you think you can get that?
Oh, well, starting small, local tournaments, then, making debuts at bigger ones. People maybe, if you're good enough, people start recognizing you. Then, they'll start giving you invitations.
Right.
And, eventually, big time starts, hopping or, popping around. And at that point, it doesn't even matter if you place first or second. As long as you have the right contacts, you should be able, to get your foot in the door. And then people will be like, okay, maybe he's not the best, but he's got some rep. He's got some rep to him, and he can only get better, or she can only get better.
Now, I know, wasn't it last year, guys, that Evo hosted Brawl?
Yeah.
And it was a big fuss because Evo decided to take on some of the item play,
which I think Street Fighter in general has a reputation of starting neutral and banning once it's proven to be needed.
Right.
And they asked people to prove their case, the Smash community. It didn't happen, so they went with the real game. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, okay, nice.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like all Brawl, basically, at Evo.
And of course, the Smash community was
very upset.
Yeah.
They bitched to high heaven and back about items at Evo. Because it's, they consider it not fair, or they have a less of an advantage. But that's only true if you're the one that doesn't get the item. If you have the item, you're not going to be bitching about it. Excuse my language. But if it's no fun, for the other person if they're the ones who doesn't have the item.
Right.
So they'd rather not even take the chance of not getting the item and just knock out all chances for either of them to get the item. So that's why they're like, no items.
I just think you're kidding yourself if you want to make Smash into a Street Fighter type game anyway. I think you should just embrace what it is.
Definitely. I'd love to run all Brawl at the PowerUp tournament.
Oh, people
I would probably get like 2 people.
You get lynched. That's all I have to say by everyone.
Maybe I could make it free. Like, free to enter, and you get $50 if you come in for. That'll get people interested.
Yeah,
But I mean, I don't mean to sound biased. I enjoy both.
Oh, yeah.
types of
Right,
play.
yeah.
Dang,
Sounds like
dang,
you do
same
too,
here.
T.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool, man.
Oh, dang,
I mean,
yeah.
why do you think people? Is it just to make a brawl like legit? You
Well,
know, in the fighting game community.
I don't know. Everybody, I guess the reason that people don't like items, when it comes to tournament, is that they're trying to make it, sort of like Street Fighter. It's like a personal one-on-one fight. Like
Right.
we don't want any rain, something to just pop up all of a sudden from the sky and be like, oh, what was that? And then there's a distraction, and then people stop fighting and they're immediately just running towards whatever that was. They want to make it so that this is it. This is the final shot. This is as far as you go. I am the end boss. I will destroy your reputation. You're mine.
Nice.
That kind of thing. And I guess when it comes to items, certain rules are applied in tournaments. And they are so used to that tournament that, those rules, they don't see playing any other way. And, whenever, for example, items were to be put into gameplay in a tournament, they'd be like, no, I'm so used to fighting without them. Why would you give, this new guy, who could be, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute into the game, he has a chance of winning if he's able to, pick up an item and throw it at me.
Right.
Or if he gets an item and heals himself after I've done so much damage on this guy.
Right.
And, and I don't know. It's weird.
But if you think that's a possibility, then you're not as good as you think.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
if that's really a fear to you, you can't be very good.
Exactly, man.
That's
You got to
true.
be bold. You got to. Look. If you want that prize money, you will adjust. You will practice. You will find out what the tournament rules are, whether you like it or not. You will practice with whatever the rules are going to be, and you will figure out a way. That's all there is to it. Because once any game, it could seem fair or it couldn't, seem fair, at one point or another. Just like if someone were to say that this game, I hear it a lot, that Smash or it isn't a competitive game, like Smash Brothers Brawl isn't a competitive game. I'd have to disagree, because once the money is put on the line, any game, tic-tac-toe could be
Rock,
paper, scissors.
I spy.
I
Double
spy.
nothing.
Exactly.
Rock, bam.
And that's how I feel about things. So,
Well, then, if they're playing with items, then did Evo ban any stages, or did they say any stage is fair game?
I think there was a couple banned, but it was a far lesser amount.
Probably just like crazy things like Big Blue or maybe
75 mm,
yeah,
things like that.
Things where you simply can't,
like the board can kill you just that easy.
Yeah.
You just can't engage each other.
Well, it's kind of like with the Ice Climber stage. You have that huge ass fish in the water. You get in the water, he's gonna gobble you up if you don't get out. So it's
get out at the end.
right, exactly. But people, they don't want any chance of being destroyed by any stage. They want their opponent to be the one to destroy them, or even themselves if they, mess up a recovery, or get caught underneath Final Destination.
That's why I always strike Final Destination in tournament play.
So
Nothing as good as the Melee one. Golly, I missed
Nope.
that.
I need to go back and play Melee. I mentioned to my friends, like, yeah, we should play Melee. They were like, ah. I'm like, what? What?
I like it.
I love me some Dr. Mario, man. Mario and Brawl, I can't get into it.
Yeah.
One thing about early 2000 polygonal games is you just can't even see what's happening anymore.
That's true.
It's dated so bad.
Somehow we've all
Yeah.
devolved for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like we can't recognize what all of those pixels and sprites look like anymore. It's craziness.
Exactly.
I love Dr. Mario. Always throwing pills around. His Meteor Smash was awesome. I would get people with that all the time. He is just awesome. I love Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
going back to stages, T is a perfect example of why some stages should be banned.
Why is that?
Because when Brawl came out, GameStop was holding a tournament.
Oh,
And, I mean, there was, like, a blizzard, like, the night before, but we still went. We braved the ice and the snow.
Nice.
And, I was kind of gimped because I had broken my little finger, so I had a pin in my finger. So I was kind of, like, at a handicap, and T and I had the battle, and, we picked random stage, and it took us to Corneria, and, you know, they have those lasers in the front.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to play with these Wii remotes, and I'm trying to get used to it.
Oh, God, that was horrible.
Yeah, I know.
GameStop just can't run tournaments.
No, they can't. They suck.
no.
So I said, T, give me a moment, buddy. So we had one stock, no time limit, I think? It was just like one stock or something like that.
Was this the finals?
Well, it was down,
It's,
Lee had been knocked out
second round.
by T. It was second round.
Oh.
So, and there was it was the three of us and some other weird kid. He didn't even know who he was.
He came in his snowshoes.
Yeah, pretty much. He just showed up out of nowhere. And we thought it was just going to be down to the three of us. But he was like, no, wait for me. We were like, damn. So it was me and T. I was like, T, give me a moment to, get my controls down because I never played with a Wii remote before.
Right. How do you even jump on the Wii remote?
I think it's like the one button or something. I mean, it's just a bad combination to play with the Wii remote.
Peach in that tournament at the GameStop up by the mall. And, I got my ass. We were playing, what's the Underground Mario stage?
World 1-2.
Yeah.
World 1-2. We played that, and I think we got like up on the secret ledge where you always see Mario running in the speed runs, and I was playing. I forget who I was playing. Probably like Mario or something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept trying to jump with Peach, and it would hold, and then it wouldn't hold, and then I would float, but not in the right direction, and then I just got smashed off the board. I'm like,
yeah.
This remote, I don't care.
So T was jumping around on Corneria, like
Oh.
off the edge, and he's just, I think he was playing. Yeah, he was playing. You were playing Luigi, weren't you, or was it Mario? You were playing Mario, and he's just jumping around, Then the lasers charge up, and he's not paying attention. They get him, and it's a KO at like 100%.
I was so not used to jumping on that setup. You know what? Maybe that's something that I have to work on. I'm probably gonna work on it. Getting used to the different controls for the controls because I'm normally I'm a GameCube. I'm a GameCube person first,
right.
and Classic controller second. Even though Classic is very good, and it sucked so much.
That day, yeah. I remember that because I hadn't even moved. I was like, can we redo that? And they were like, nope, nope. They wouldn't let us redo it. So I was like, T, I'm so sorry. So
that's fate, man. I couldn't be upset about it. So, eh.
And then that was like the first round. I bet in the second round they were like, okay, now you use the Classic controller.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then the third round, now you can use the GameCube controllers.
Kind of like Street Fighter 4 using Xbox pads.
Right, instead of sticks.
And then once all the good people are knocked out, you can use sticks now.
Woo! They had to wait all the way until the finals to let them use sticks.
it was pretty dumb.
Should be optional then, shouldn't it?
We didn't even go. He signed up for it, but then they were like, oh, you can't use your arcade sticks that you just spent $150 for.
Right.
You have to use these crappy-ass pads. And Lee was just like, yeah, okay.
I think my store actually let us play on the PS3. They might have not had it for 360.
Right.
But we still had to play on pad. And I was playing Guile at the time. Very bad to play on pad.
Yeah, his super is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Just trying to charge in any event.
The pain.
It's mauling on the pad. Couldn't do it. But yeah, that sucks. We all hate GameStop tournaments. I mean, they sell nice used games and everything. Great place to shop.
Corporate doesn't know what they're doing.
Right.
That.
I don't know. They did the Fly Out Daigo and Punko and EO for the
Well, that's
exhibition.
controversial as well. Being like Daigo got creamed in the tournament, and then he magically warped to first place.
Yep.
Yeah, I wondered. It's like, why did they fly in Daigo? He wasn't. I was telling one of my friends, EO won the national. Did Daigo not enter? Did he enter the Japanese
I'm
nationals?
not sure. I've heard he simply just didn't qualify, but that's hard to believe.
Seriously.
Maybe he just wasn't as used to the game for some weird reason. Then who knows? Who knows? It's all speculation at this point, folks.
That's right.
He definitely handed it to Justin, though.
Oh, man.
But keep in mind that's a big character advantage. Ryu will destroy Rufus quite easily, but
and it's pretty bad setup, anyways. What was it? First to 4, just one round or one match. First to 4.
Yeah, they usually do with like when they fight Marvel. It's the first person to like 8 or maybe 10. It just depends, and each match consists of 2 out of 3. So they do 2 out of 3, and whoever wins at 2 out of 3, they get 1 point. But I mean, it lasts forever when it comes to Marvel. Because Marvel's crazy. You can do a lot of crazy stuff with Marvel.
I forget, did they do elimination in that, or?
I have no idea.
Round robin?
Oh, and at Illuminati's, at this past tournament, Josh did one round elimination, yeah. Because Marvel takes forever. Because there were so many people probably that wanted to play it. But I think they didn't get out of there until like after 12, like midnight for Street Fighter 4. They didn't even do doubles. They were supposed to, but they just ran out of time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
that's how many people were there.
Definitely a big deal, man. Definitely. So many options in tournaments, man.
He's a pretty sweet Marvel player, too.
Yeah.
If you want to move on to other grounds and brag
we'll
about
stick
team.
with Brawl for a little
I'm
bit
decent.
longer. I think I'm going to try to pick your brain a little bit.
All right.
So, how knowledgeable are you about the matchups, like Ness versus X character?
Which Smash Brothers?
Brawl.
Brawl.
Yeah, let's do it.
Ness no likey Marth.
Okay.
Because let's see, Marth has this really strange way of dealing with Lucas and Ness because they jump really weird. Whenever they escape the throw, they tend to push themselves back, but just enough time for Marth to grab him again and repeatedly kick him. Kick whether it's Ness or Lucas again, and deal ridiculous damage.
So even from the escape, he just grabs again?
Exactly. If anything, they want you to escape. Notice that they won't throw you. They'll just grab you and just keep kicking you until, you escape. You wiggle out. Now, there is a chance that you could escape it randomly if you, jump up and away in the air. But, for me, it's random. Extremely random. But for the most part, he'll just push himself back on the ground. And then here comes Marth again. He will grab you and he'll start kneeing you until you rack up a nice 200 points of damage.
Is that what they call grab release?
That may be it. I don't know what the...
I think it's called the infinite grab.
Infinite grab.
Dedede can do the same thing against Donkey Kong.
Oh.
It's like I heard that Bowser had a really good grab release game.
Basically, with Bowser, you can grab the character, which is very fast. You just snatch them up, and then you let them go, and before they recover, you have time to do a Koopa Claw.
Nice.
So basically, you're getting the command grab for the speed of the regular grab.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Melee now. I'm just going to have to go back and play it. It's going to be so fun.
Oh, man.
That's why we all love the Wii. Play our GameCube games, of course.
Oh, yes.
Nintendo may not have a very good Wi-Fi game, but they're pretty good about keeping their fans happy for the most part. Yeah, well. So what about mind games? Like in tournament, for example, who knocks you out?
Let's see. In the doubles, I cannot remember.
It was Michael Golo and Cody something. It was... Sorry, Cody, I don't remember your name. I remember Michael Golo because he's the one...
Yoshi player.
Yeah, he's the Yoshi player who raged and threw
Yes,
his controller on the
that
ground.
was
You can
awesome.
see that video on my YouTube channel. username Osiren13, OSIRUN 13, all one word. And yes, it is. He raged out. It's the video Rage of the Yoshi player.
I had to get on him, and then I did. I was like, hey, no more of that.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I said your controller could break and like a piece could hit somebody. And Nate was standing,
shattering his neck.
Yeah, be a bloody mess. And then Nate was standing behind him. We just kind of looked at each other. and We were like, oh goodness, and that's why I was like, no more. But
that's why I thought. I think I made the comment later. It's like that's why he uses a wave bird, so it doesn't like fling the Wii if he gets
exactly.
He just fly the wave bird. It's like watch out for flying wave birds.
Yeah. But yeah, it was Michael Golo and his partner Cody. Cody played Samus and Pit, usually Samus, and then Yoshi was Michael Golo. Personally, I didn't really have a problem against the Yoshi because T kicked my ass with him so many times. You know, you can only do so much with Yoshi and be good with it that I kind of knew what he was doing with, like, the back air with the tail and the running and the grabbing and the, you know. But Samus now, not a lot of people play Samus, so I couldn't really adapt to his mind game, really. Because, I mean, you never really see a lot of, you know, Samus players, but they were the ones who knocked us out. Sorry to steal your answer, too.
Oh, no, you're fine.
You played in singles, didn't you, T?
Yeah.
Who knocked you out in singles?
Let's see.
DJ Martin,
the
I think.
Player?
Yeah, the Marth player knocked him out of the winners bracket, sent him to losers. And then, who, I can't remember his name. Maybe his name was Michael, I can't remember, but he was the one who played. He was kind of the tall white kid with the glasses, and he helped me with the counter stages with the laptop. Sorry, dude, I don't remember your name, but
I had a very close match with him as well.
Yeah, I know. He played DDD, Game & Watch, and Meta Knight.
Oh, yeah, he kept throwing the turtle at you.
Yeah.
I barely beat him.
So, but that's who knocked T out, and I mean, it was really close.
Yeah.
So, I'm more for doubles than for singles. So.
That's cool.
Definitely.
So what if you could go back? Like, how did the Marth player get the best of you?
Well, luckily, I decided that I was going to switch off instead of Ness. Yeah.
This is what
because Ness.
This is where he tried to be the underdog and pick Mario to prove to everybody that Mario can beat Marth depending on who's playing. And I just wanted. When I saw that, I was just. Here we go. We'll just have to see.
I wanted to use, I had it for me. I like using Mario. I do as a secondary character, you know, simply because I knew that if I was fighting against Marth, it's a tournament, money is on the line. You have to expect that as a Marth player, he will grab you. He will keep kicking you.
Right. You didn't want to get caught in that.
No, I didn't. You know, just like if I had to face off against a DDD, you know, or if I had to face off against the Falco, instead of to avoid the chain grab, I'm just going to choose Jigglypuff.
Right.
You know, she's too light, and you know, don't expect her to just be like, okay, you found a way to keep me heavy long enough to continue the grab or whatever.
Right.
So you know, I chose Mario, and I don't regret it. I don't. You know, I gave it a shot. First round was close. Second round, for some reason, my left thumb kept taunting.
Oh.
but it was all right because there was one time where I had taunted, and while he was shielding,
he flipped out. He got scared, like it was an attack, and then it was so
shielded
funny.
Your taunt.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Did you grab him?
I don't know.
No, T just kind of sidestepped and I watched it, and I was just like, I told T later, I said, that was pretty sweet. I said, you were giving him the rush down, and then this, like, he stopped his combo, like, his rush down game, like, right in the middle of it, and just hit a taunt, and Mario did, like, the cartwheel in the air, and the guy, like, I saw the guy kind of jump, and he, like, you know, because he, like, was shielding really fast, and then he just kind of was standing there, and his shield was going down. And then he went, when he realized, he tried to swipe at T, but T just kind of sidestepped and rolled.
Wow.
It was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
And sometimes, believe it or not, like Mario's the little spinning yay taunt, as well as Ganondorf's spinning taunt. You can't hit them. You can't like sweep them or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but against like Link's down smash, Marth's down smash.
Because they're floating in the air.
Exactly.
Nice. When you start playing a match, and say you know the matchup, or you know your opponent's character,
Mm-hmm.
or you know their potential, rather. It's like you've done your research on that character, and you know what they're capable of. How do you approach your opponent, kind of see if they know what you know?
Let me see. The technical term, I guess, would be, let me see, little, I don't know, I can't remember if it was catfish, I think that's what it's called. I don't know, something like that. It's where, you throw out like little things that you normally wouldn't, like, just enough though.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to just get overwhelmed and be like, oh my goodness, that was the dumbest mistake you ever could make. Like, let's see, like throwing a fireball, not so much at close range, but just enough within smash distance that absolutely sure, you are absolutely sure that that the smash won't hit, but you want to see if he reacts to it, if he would chance smashing you, or using a counter, or using some kind of projectile to equal it out, or just to shield it, but you only really get a lot of experience when you start playing a little more with them. And, you don't want to take too long because, there is a time limit, and you don't want to waste too much time, and you don't want it to go into a draw game or sudden death, which, normally isn't a part of tournament play. It's about whoever has the most amount of damage dealt to them, they lost, especially like on the last stock. But you want to keep up your game. You definitely want to make sure that wherever they're planning, check it out. Definitely.
Nice. What do you think is the most annoying character, or the character with the most mind games that are really easy to pull off for somebody who may not even know them?
Let me see. That's a good one. Well, I know someone who's got plenty of mind games. It has to be Snake, because I've seen some ridiculous stuff done with that character. But I don't know, underrated character. I've seen some very good Captain Falcons. I mean, ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous. Like, I didn't know that you could do that. Let me see. But like I said, it's I don't know. For me, it's got to be Snake. It's got to be Snake. But again, that's the one character I'm not really familiar with, either Snake or Sonic, because he's so freaking fast, and it's like, oh, okay. But I've seen things on YouTube. I know some character, some players on allisbrawl.com, and it just, the most dangerous person to deal with is the one that you're not familiar with.
Right. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Do you buy much into, or does anybody here buy much into the tier list?
Well, there is a saying called "Tears are for queers."
Right.
No offense to the homosexual community, but
or those who love tears.
That's right.
Nice.
That some people, they don't care what the tier lists say. They believe that any character can be good enough if you make them good enough.
Right.
And there are others who play to win all the time, and they'll pick the character that's at the top of the tier list and just kind of monkey see, monkey do. They'll just kind of like, well, this, and this works, then I'm going to do this too.
It's like it's not necessarily them playing the character, it's like they're emulating a better player.
That is dangerous.
Yes.
But I think a lot of people tend to pick characters because they're unpopular, which is just as bad as playing somebody because they're popular. I think you just play who you like. And most of the time that will be an upper tier character. And denying that is kind of silly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Personally, I I don't really buy into the tier list. I'm pretty sure, not to speak for you, T, because T plays with everybody.
Right.
I mean, he plays with Jigglypuff, for goodness sake. But I don't really buy into it. I'm not yelling out tiers are for queers or anything. I just, like Lee says, I pick who I like and I play with them, and I kind of was gravitated towards, in Brawl personally, Pokemon Trainer, Pikachu, and Toon Link, and Zelda and Sheik.
Right.
Who are all upper mid, which
but-
kind of makes my point.
Well, it's not, I don't really follow the tier list.
Right,
I don't
yeah,
look
no.
at it and go, these are upper mid, I'm going to pick this, and this,
But yeah,
and
it just
this.
so happens that like people seem to like maybe those characters just have better reaction time on the roll or have better recovery on their moves. It's just like a natural thing almost for people to say, hey, they feel good.
You don't have to frequent Smash boards to know that Snake can forward tilt you or up tilt you from across the screen.
Oh,
you just
nice.
see it happen and say, "There's my guy."
Pretty much, and like
Strongest 3-piece in the game.
yeah, that's right. He'll get you. But my basis for picking the people that I pick is kind of girly because one, Pokemon are cute. Two, Toon Link is cute. Sheik is a badass, even though they nerfed her. She's a ninja,
Right.
But I prefer to play with Sheik over Zelda, even though Zelda is a stronger character in Brawl and the better character because, I mean, she has ridiculous hitboxes and, that high heel will get you right in the face if you get it right. But Pokemon, I don't really consider them to be high tier. They're probably at the middle of the mid tiers, not at right below high tiers.
Right.
But I prefer Pokemon Trainer to be my second main and Toon Link to be my first. Toon Link, though, he has a lot of downfall to him. He's fast. He can be strong, but I've kind of noticed that the hit ratio, when they descale, if you use a smash attack too much, it gets weaker. He gets weaker a little bit quicker, I think, because a lot of people like to do his forward smash and his up smash, not so much his down smash when it comes to rolling games, but his grab is crap. It's really short, and the time frame that he is open is really ridiculous because he kind of, if you miss your your hook shot's gonna lay there on the ground until you're like, ugh, and you're gonna get smashed even before that. So you kind of have to be a little bit more aggressive. But I don't know, against Marth, Toon Link hates Marth because Toon Link you have to get in his face when you fight Marth, because Marth has that huge foil, and Toon Link has that little master sword, if that's what you want to call it.
So T, you just like to play all the characters. Basically.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever feels right, or
Yeah, man. It's always better to be prepared for any kind of situation, especially when advantages are huge. But let's see. One of the things apparently that I found out at the tournament, as I was getting knocked out, was that Meta Knight beats out a Diddy Kong. But I will make it close. I don't care what the type is, because. I dig them. I dig all the characters. They have their strengths, they have their weaknesses, and if you like a character and you work with them, you can make them a lot tougher. And the thing about disadvantages is that everybody will know about them, but it's how to deal with it. Like a low tier dealing with a high tier. I mean, if you've seen so many things, done so many times, that everybody does the exact same move, you can find a way to counter that exact same move with this character. It's all about, approaching it and then, making it new, to someone who thought, I didn't know that you could do that. Yeah, I could. I've been practicing. I've been watching videos. I know what you're going to do about it.
nice. Keeping a clear head in the matches.
Yep.
Knowing that you gotta mix it up, knowing what they might want to do against you, and then punishing them for it.
Exactly.
Nice. Well, it looks like we are coming up on an hour, and I think that is plenty of time. So I would like to thank everybody for listening. I'd like to thank T, Anchor, and Otter.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, definitely. Next time on the Power Up Podcast, Episode 2, I am hopefully going to be interviewing TK, who is a local Marvel vs. Capcom 2 legend. And I'm sure that is going to be a very entertaining fun. Yeah, they all know TK here.
Yeah.
And I met him at the Pocket Change Arcade, and he is really fun to listen to.
What's bigger, his mouth or his game?
But yeah, thanks again for tuning in, and I will have this up on iTunes, and that way you can subscribe and stay completely updated. You can also go to the blog, that's www.powerupyourworld.blogspot.com, and please subscribe so you know when the next podcast is coming out. And I guess that's about it. Soon we're going to be doing a little prize. It was Anchor's idea, and I think it's great to keep you listeners actually listening. We will be having little secret codes eventually in the podcast that I will throw out randomly, so you can't just skip to the end and it's like, oh, I'm going to skip his 1 hour podcast. I just want the code. It's like, no.
Shame on you, selfish people.
Yeah, that's horrible. Mm-hmm. Using your iTunes for malicious purposes. But you'll have to listen to the whole show because I'll just randomly insert, okay, now the code, guys. And, I'm still thinking of prizes. I'm thinking maybe like some bargain fighting games, who knows, or maybe even some sponsored prizes. Who knows? I mean, if the podcast gets big enough.
What would be a great idea would be if we managed to get the Street Fighter 4 cabinet into the Pocket Change. Give away some free games.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
See?
Maybe so make sure that you listen and make sure that you subscribe. The PowerUp blog also has a link to the YouTube page where I will be posting up videos of the tournament, probably some casual play, perhaps of T and everybody here. So you guys who are listening, definitely check it out. And, don't worry. If you play Street Fighter 4, if you play Marvel vs. Capcom, Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue's coming out, even King of Fighters, if I feel that the community is big enough. I want to cover everything. I want to cover all the fighting games and all the people who dedicate themselves to these games and really love these games. So I really want you guys to tune in, and I want everybody to feel a part of this. The Midwest is in it together. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for staying with us for this whole hour, going a little bit over, but that's all right. Please tune in next time, and this has been Power Up with your host, Nathan Shields, and I will catch you guys next time.